Lions Saints review, ladies and gentlemen. My apologies for the delay. Internet issues all day today. It is 5 o'clock, and finally the internet is fixed. So, and if the audio is a little different, moving studios, so bear with me. We will get it figured out. Okay, so this game, really interesting game, and I think my take on this is going to be a little different than most people's. So I was at the Dome, as all home games. I'm there, live in living color. I think we can take some positives from this. All right, it's going to sound crazy. I think people expect this to be a doomsday situation, expect this to be the sky is falling. We knew going in. We previewed this game. We knew going in we probably weren't going to win. We knew that even if we don't win, it's not the end of the world because we just have to win the last 5 games, right? So with that being said, the beginning of the game, specifically the first quarter, was a complete disaster. I mean, it was in the stadium, in the Dome, it was riotous. I have been in some riotous situations. The NFC Championship with the no-call pass interference, some WrestleManias that have gone a little sideways. This was as much of a mutiny you could feel in that first quarter. And I think people are saying, like, was it deserved? Should it have been like that? When you look at the box score, when you look at these plays, it's obvious why there was such an angry kind of vibe. So Detroit goes up, right? No problem. Detroit has a good offense. They immediately go down the field and score. We get the ball. Immediately, interception. All right, people already aren't happy with how we're starting games. They're already not happy with our first possessions. They're already not happy with Derek Carr. They're already not happy with how Minnesota went and Atlanta went. We've documented that extensively. So to see the interception right there is just like, man, are you kidding me? Here we go. So then Detroit scores 14-0 in basically 4 minutes of game time. Then to go 3 and out for -1 yards, not good. Okay, 3 and outs are never good. 3 and outs in that situation when you have to respond is even worse. So then Detroit scores again to not help anything. Okay, 21-0. So at this point now, it is an absolute like fever pitch in the stadium. So we get the ball back, and what happens immediately? 3 plays, -5 yards. So we've had the ball 3 times at this point. Interception, 3 and out, 3 and out. At this point, we have an interception and -6 yards on the game. That's where we're sitting at this point in the game. So for there to be boos, for there to be everything you saw, it is expected. And I think it's totally okay from the fan base. I don't understand this whole, like, should the fans have booed right there? Should they have been so vocal? They have to be vocal. What's the other option? They have to be vocal when seemingly Mickey Loomis doing nothing, Dennis Allen doing nothing, Pete Carmichael doing nothing. The Saints' back is against the wall. And to come out and see 3 possessions that equal whatever it was, -6 yards and a turnover, and we're down 21-0 at home, absolutely brutal. So make no mistake about it. The first quarter was as bad as it possibly can get. Okay? Now let's go to the actual team stats. So if you look at the entire thing, we've got total plays 67 to 56, yards 362 to 347, yards per play 6.2 to 5.4, rushing 4.7 to 3.1, not good. Turnovers 2. Okay? Time of possession 32-27. So if you look at this, the Lions should have won the game. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. If you look at the box score, you look at the turnover ratio, all that stuff, yards per play, you look at the running, anyone's going to look at this and say they expect Detroit to win the game. All right? If you go to our actual player box score, Carr wasn't good. I mean, wasn't great. Goff was kind of whatever. Detroit really didn't do much. As crazy as, they didn't have to when you get up to a 21-0 lead, and we'll get into that the more we talk about this game. Rushing, Taysom was really good this game. Taysom was good again. 4.5 yards a carry. He was all over the place. 13 carries, 59 yards, and then 2 receptions for 15 yards. So strong game from Taysom. He also had a couple passes in there for absolutely nothing. Running wise, the rest of it nothing to really write home about. This surprised me. So the rushing surprised me because we talked about in the pregame like we would not be able to run on Detroit. We knew that going in. Detroit has a really good defensive line. They have a really good at run stopping. So I did not think we would have this many carries. You're talking about 36 carries across, let's take Carr out, but across 4 people. For Taysom to have 13, Kamara to have 14, and then Williams to have 5, and then a couple of sweeps, that is a ton of running the ball when you're down 21 against a team that doesn't allow you to run. So I thought that was surprising. You got to kind of take the receiving with a grain of salt because of the injury and all of that. But still, you've got 8 targets with Olave. He was kind of non-existent in the beginning. He got going at the end there. And then Kamara, he got involved as well. So let's talk about the game, okay? And this is why I think there is something to take from this. It's because there was such low expectations. And because of how I think this is going to be controversial yet brave, ladies and gentlemen. I think this was the best the offense has played, or the best the offense has looked towards the back half of the game. It's the best they've looked since the Colts game. Now, that's going to sound crazy. But if you think about it, we looked better in the back half of the Lions game than we did in the entire game against Atlanta, the entire Minnesota game, I think the entire Chicago game. So even though this was a bad loss as far as like how it looked and how it felt because of what we did early, even though that was the case, I think we did find something. And I think that if we're looking at, the real goal here was to win the last 5 games. That's the goal. Don't let this distract you from what the goal is for this season. The goal for this season, win those 5 games, win 10 games, win the division, host a playoff game. That is still in sight. We knew that was going to be the case. We knew a Detroit loss was not going to change that in any way. All right? The beginning, 100%, no doubt about it. The beginning was a mess. No one is saying it wasn't. The beginning was awful, disgusting to watch. The boos were warranted. Okay, I was sitting there, tough to watch. And it's kind of hard to factor this in too because you don't know how much of this is us playing this like up-tempo style versus them nursing a 21-point lead. I don't know. But until that turnover, and if we go here, so the fumble and here. So right here, okay, we claw our way back. We score, and we're within 3. We are within a field goal here in the third quarter after being down 21-0. Yes, they were nursing a lead. Yes, we're kind of, chasing at that point, but you still have to give the team credit for getting there. So then we hold them to a field goal. We have a chance here to take the lead. All right, we're getting the ball start of the fourth quarter. We have a chance to take the lead. Then we have the fumble, horrible situation. Looked to me like the left guard. Looked like Carr was kind of doing one of those reverse fake handoff situation. Guard was pulling, just miscommunication, that was awful for sure. And then the game's pretty much over from there. With this whole situation here, I really thought so. The last possession on 3rd and 9, when Goff completed for 12 yards there, that was a hell of a throw, and I thought we were going to get Jameis, a minute to try and figure something out here to try and win the game, but we didn't get there. I thought the offense at the beginning, most of the time when I'm watching the game, I'm watching the personnel. I'm watching who's in the play, what's the package, who's where. At the beginning of the game, things were so discombobulated. The first couple of possessions, and I'll have to go back and kind of all 22 this, but there was a whole lot of like Jamal Williams would be on the field on first down. And then on third down, he was always on the field. Kamara was never on the field on third down at the beginning. There was a lot of rotating Carr and Taysom, and it just seemed like it was everywhere. It was all over the place. And I don't know if Pete was trying to get too cute. I don't know what was going on, what the plan was there, but it seemed very fractured. And it seemed like there was way too much happening at the beginning of the game. I understand Jamal Williams is a good running back, whatever. Alvin Kamara is our best player. Has been all year long. He needs to be on the field on third down. Like that's just a fact. He needs to be on the field on third down. He needs to be available. And I'm not really totally sure why he's not on the field on first down. You know, Williams should be, I've said this before, the problem with Williams is we have Taysom, right? So what is his role? Because the short yardage, goal line, 4th and 1, 3rd and 2 kind of situations, that should be his bread and butter, but that's Taysom's bread and butter. So it seems weird to me that he's in as much as he's in. Not even that he's running the ball too much, just the fact that he's in on first down, he's in on third down. I don't really understand that. Again, I like Taysom for sure, and I think Taysom's usage is important, but this constant shifting of, all right, Carr's in, Taysom's in, Carr's in, Kamara's out, Jamal's in. Like, too much is happening there. Too much is happening there for an inconsistent offense. I think we have to kind of, at the very basic level, we have to get our best offensive players on the field. Like, we have to make sure that's step one. Step one is we need to have the biggest set of playmakers on the field at the same time. Whether that's Williams and Kamara on the field at the same time, Taysom and Kamara, whatever it has to be. But I think we need to figure that out. Okay. I really wanted to get this point across. And we kind of talked about the game. I don't want to get bogged down in the stats in a game where we're down 21, but I do think this was important for the Saints. And this is a rubber meets the road kind of game where this is one of those things where Derek Carr could have broken. Derek Carr could have fallen apart in the first quarter. When he's coming out and the fans are cheering, when he's coming back on and the fans are booing, when Taysom takes a snap, they're cheering, Carr takes a snap, they're booing, we're down 21 at home off of this awful month. At one point, it was insane. At one point, Taysom comes off, Carr comes on. The crowd is booing big time. And Kamara is trying to quiet the crowd. I mean, really think about the situation. Really think about this. At home, dome field advantage, and Alvin Kamara, a franchise player, is quieting the home crowd because they are booing every time the quarterback, the $150 million franchise quarterback, every time he steps on the field. It was crazy to see. But if in that moment the Saints completely fold, in that moment it's a complete give up, complete wash your hands. Carr comes out of the game, he gets benched, whatever. Like if something like that happens and we end up losing 44-7, I don't think the team can ever come back from that. Like at that point, the locker room's lost, the team is lost, the season's lost. It is what it is, right? To watch them fight, to watch the Saints fight back, to watch them do everything they could to try and get back in there. I think that's one of those moments where you hit rock bottom. Derek Carr, the entire team felt it, saw it, heard it. To hit rock bottom like that and to bounce up, to even come within 3 points, to come within 5 points at the end of the game, I think is respectable. I think is respectable. I really do. This was a moment where this team could have completely crumbled. And the fact that they kind of stood their ground, they kind of found something in the face of that much adversity. I mean, I can tell you from just sitting there with dome dogs all around me, Kamara was running crazy. The booing or the situation or whatever, it fueled him. Like it looked like it fueled him. I mean, he was hitting people. He was getting up. He was excited. He scored the franchise, the record. it just seemed like this team has something, some kind of heart, some kind of moxie, something in them that instead of folding, instead of being timid and scared and F you to the fans, instead of that, it seems like they rose up. And I don't want to take credit or anything, but it feels like the fans let the Saints know, like, we're not happy about this. We don't like this. And they heard us loud and clear. And the Saints players seemingly said, we hear you. Okay. All right. Let's change this. That's how it felt. And I mean, very, very weird game, because it could have, when we were walking back from the game, we were talking, it was such a confused fan base. It really was, because the beginning of the first quarter, it was like, I've had enough of this. This is awful. People were leaving, whatever. Then you see kind of that heart, the soul, the something positive. And then you get close, but you don't fully get there. So it's still a loss. It's still, okay, you have to win the last 5 games. But I just saw something from the players. I really did. I mean, very impressed with the players, how they handled that situation. There's no doubt about it, guys. Like, we can't do what we did in the first quarter. And it's more of the same stuff, right? It's more of just starting slow, sloppy, 3 and outs. I mean, just bad all around. Bad all around, bad everywhere. Just sacks and I mean, you look at some of these plays. It's just not it. Just not it. I mean, you look at these first couple of possessions. I mean, my God. So we got the interception. Then, like, we're down 14-0, and we come right back out with Jamal Williams. Boom. Jamal, bam, first down, runs into nothing. Then Carr, just incomplete passes. Then we come back out. Taysom Hill runs it. And we're down 21-0, and we start off with, that's another thing too. It's 21-0, and you come out. Taysom Hill run, Kamara run, Carr sacked. That's ugly. It's ugly. It's not an easy situation. Not an easy. And then again, here we go. So we come back out 21-0, 1st and 10. Carr passes short right to Jamal Williams. Why is Kamara not in there? Why is he? I don't understand that. Like, why is he not in? Then it's just more of the same, really. More of the same. But we are going to, I mean, I was hoping to put like 3 videos out today, but I'm going to, I guess, drop most of those on Tuesday. But I wanted to get something out there today, and I know this was rushed. I know whatever. Again, I'm moving studios. Internet was down all day today. I've got wires everywhere. This wire is like caught in a bunch of other wires. So I'm sure the acoustics are different. I'm sure the lighting's different. So we're going to get it figured out. Don't worry. Me and the technicians behind the scene are going to get it figured out. But I wanted to get something out as fast as possible. We're going to cover this every single way this week. We're going to talk a ton about the boos, about Carr getting booed. We're going to talk about Jameis and Derek's injury, and what we're going to do moving forward. What should we do? But the focus is on these 5 games, ladies and gentlemen. We have to win these 5 games. That's the goal, right? So let me know in the comments below. Go down there in the comments and sound off, and I'll be down there replying. Again, apologies for the late upload. My B, internet's B. If y'all are from New Orleans, y'all know how the internet can be down here sometimes, especially in the city. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you for the patience today. I will see you in the next videos, ladies and gentlemen.